I look back with nostalgia to the pre-election period in 2022, when the Kenya Kwanza team went around the country conducting economic forums to collect public insights which informed the bottom-up economic transformation agenda. A lot was said during those forums, and it is the wish of the people that will fulfill those promises. With limited resources, it is key to have priorities. Under the agricultural pillar, tea is one of the priority crop value chains that is selected. From the economic forums, the voice of our farmer was clear that farmers need more money in the pocket. Additionally, the Tea Reforms Conference held in Kericho in July 2023 was a first step in the continuation of this conversation. Together with the farmers, we agreed on key resolutions on what needs to change to this reform, to this subsector. These resolutions were farmer-centric in the spirit of the public participation requirement in accordance with our Constitution. The Kericho resolutions were organized based on a value chain approach of production, processing, marketing, value addition, institutional, policy, and legal reforms. At a high level, under the production thematic area, the resolution centered on re-establishment of the Tea Research Foundation, farmer extension services, and soil testing. On processing, standardized processes for harvesting and handling of green leaf, curb tea hooking, establishment of quality assurance framework, harmonized power tariffs between KTDA and Kenya Power, and investment in orthodox processing. Under marketing, we agreed on national branding of Kenyan tea, review of reserve price, timely payment to farmers, and leverage on commercial diplomacy in our Kenyan missions abroad. In value addition, KTDA was to increase sale of value-added tea from the current 1% to 40% by 2027. For instance, Sri Lanka, one of the world's largest tea producers, does 50% value addition. Finally, institutional policy and legal reforms included the withdrawal of court cases, improved corporate governance at KTDA, and full implementation of the Tea Act. The current status, as we stand here today, where are we on these actions? The matter of court cases, which was a big challenge, has been resolved thanks to the mediation efforts initiated by the Tea Board of Kenya, leading to the KTDA elections, which you people won. Napongezi, congratulations. Najua waziri, kushinda uchaguzi hata ya kiti ya Munanda ni kibarua. Na wale sisi ndio watu ya kuchaguliwa, we know it is not easy to get elected. It doesn't matter how small, kama ni ile ya tea buying center, kama ni ile ya director. Watu 100 wamelala nyumba tofauti. Kuamuka asubuhi na bado kutana kusema wewe ndio unatosha ni kibarua. Si iko namna hiyo? Ni kibarua. Kwa hivyo tunasema pongezi na tunaheshimu nyinyi kwa kuchaguliwa. For the most part, that is the only achievement we can celebrate more than 1 year later. If put on the spot to explain this to your employers, the farmers, can you? what is the cost benefit to farmers for the financial resources you have consumed in directors' expenditure, foreign and domestic, loss-making subsidiaries? Mtaambia nini wakulima? That is why we want to talk to you as we congratulate those who have been elected. Wale wamekuja ndio tunataka tusungumzie, because we did not get it right. And we believe the new directors will come with new ideas so that our employer, the farmer, can benefit. And that is the reason I chose to come and speak with you. You know I'm a truthful man. Mnikubalie tu niambie nyinyi ukweli. Sababu hata nisipomwambia mtaambiwa na wakulima. If you look at foreign travel for directors between January and June 2024, the KTDA holdings on local and foreign travel, we have spent 44 million Kenya shillings. 44 directors of Kenya holdings between January and June. Na hii pesa yote itakatwa kwa mkulima. Kwa hivyo, mimi naomba nyinyi, as you settle down to work, let us put effort on how to reduce expenses for the directors. Ndio mkulima apate haki yake. Sababu mkulima akikufa roho atang'oa majani chai. Aking'oa majani chai hakuna mtu ya kuchagua na uchumi wetu utasoroteka. We must agree that we must have a candid conversation about the cost of production per kg of tea leaf. And the only way to put money in a farmer's pocket is to look for better markets, better prices, but the most doable, which is in your hands, is to bring down the cost of production. You may not have control over world prices. You may not have control over new markets, but in your hands as directors, you can control the cost of production kwa kupunguza iteremuke, so that that benefit can go to the farmer. How do we as a country produce high quality tea? How do we sell our high quality tea for a high quality return, which goes back to the farmer? If we can choose these two things, then the reforms have been successful. Anything short of this is a fail. However, we are faced with historical challenges which we have produced poor results, like huge stocks currently at the warehouses, where I plan with the minister to visit later this afternoon to look at the stocks lying there for a long time and find out what is the problem and try to work with KTDA Holdings and all stakeholders with the Tea Board of Kenya. How do we move these stocks for the benefit of the farmer? Insanity is defined as doing the same thing over and over and expecting different results. That is insanity. The past challenges will no longer be excuses or reasons for poor performance. Firstly, quality production of tea must be enforced all the way from production, picking, transportation, and processing. From farm to cup, the quality standards must be observed. The Tea Board of Kenya and KTDA Management Services must get this right and get it right the first time, which is called TQM, Total Quality Management. TQM, Total Quality Management, is getting it right and getting that right the first time. The Tea Board of Kenya must ensure that independent factories and tea brokers who do not do the right thing have their license revoked immediately and surcharged. Wewe bwana Kayu, hii wakora wanafanya tea hawking na kuharibu chai yetu, especially in the western region. You must clamp on them. And we'll avail officers of the national government administration, our county commissioners and deputy county commissioners, and the county security and intelligence committees will be at your disposal to help you, because they are the ones who introduce low quality tea to our farmers. And this is very notorious in the western region. Lazima tusaidie wakulima. And the Tea Board of Kenya will give you the necessary backup as an administration to make sure that all those crooks are removed from this sector, because they are doing us a lot of damage. On this also, it is important to speak about fertilizer. We are buying what we have always bought, which sometimes defeats the purpose. Subsidized fertilizer is one of the government interventions to increase production, which translates to increased returns for farmers. KTDA is on record charging government huge amounts for fertilizer subsidy. However, the fertilizer being bought today is not backed by new scientific soil testing evidence to say that is the right thing. We are using the old results. Please, let's test our soils and get a proper recommendation on the most effective type of fertilizer. We had a fight, a big fight with maize farmers because they have always used DAP. But on testing the soils, it was found that DAP is not appropriate because of the soil acidity. And after we brought a different form of fertilizer, farmers have reaped big. So I want to ask KTDA to work with our labs and have the soils tested and come up with a recommendation on the most suitable fertilizer to increase tea production. Expenditure management and excesses must be checked. The financial resources held by KTDA are held in trust for the farmers. Therefore, prudent expenditure is not an option. How you spend the money as custodians must demonstrate to the owners that you are disciplined, reliable, accountable, and trustworthy. Foreign travel, domestic travel, legal fees, car hire, businesses, first-class travel tickets, among others, are just examples of areas of waste that must be done away with forthwith. I would like somebody to explain to me, and indeed to government, why, when KTDA has a legal department with lawyers who are registered advocates of the High Court of Kenya, why do you outsource legal services from law firms that are so exorbitant? Yet we have a fully fledged legal department with lawyers paid monthly, and they are admitted as advocates of the High Court. They can go to court and argue cases on behalf of KTDA. Lakini tunawacha wale mawakili wako pale, wanalipwa mshahara kila mwezi. Kukiwa na kesi, tunaenda kutafuta mawakili kutoka nje, wanalipisha pesa mingi. Hiyo pesa watu wanaume wanakatana. Tuseme ukweli ama tusiseme? Tuseme tusiseme? This must stop. Hatuwezi kubali. And let me say also, I've heard a few directors saying that KTDA is an independent company, serikali isiingilie. Lakini you serve 800,000 farmers. How 800,000 farmers are Kenyans na wako na mwenyewe. Wako na mwenyewe. They are somebody. Ni wetu, ni wa serikali. It cannot be. When we negotiated these cases out of court settlement, the kind of money the lawyers are asking for is astronomical. Hata wale walipigania rais na mimi kotini kwa Supreme Court bado uliza sisi pesa kama hiyo. Na hiyo kesi ndio ilikuwa kubwa sana Kenya. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yet we have a full-fledged legal department. So we either scrap that department, then we outsource lawyers, because iko haja gani tumeandika mawakili hapo kwa KTDA na hawezi enda kotini? Now all of them are admitted advocates of the High Court. So hii ni maneno ambaye inaleta shida. KTDA subsidiaries are also avenues of wastage. Investment in loss-making businesses without returns to the farmers. KTDA kazi yake ni majani chai. Sasa hii kazi ya real estate mulifundishwa na nani? Ya kujenga manyumba na kuokota kodi. Si tushughulikie wakulima, mambo ya chai. We'll be having a meeting with the new minister and the board so that all loss-making subsidiaries are shut down, because that loss is absorbed by who? By the farmer, not by the directors. There is no justification whatsoever under the sun for KTDA, a company dealing with farmers and tea, to engage in different business that is loss-making and ask the farmer to carry that loss. Najua wengine hamnipendi, lakini mimi sasa si lazima nipendwe. Si Pastor Dokas ananipenda? Sasa iko haja gani mimi kupendwa na wanaume? Kuna haja. We must speak the truth. And the time to fight for the farmer is now. Yeah. Yeah. Na hii maneno ya chai tutanyorosha. It cannot be. It cannot be. Hata hii madirector hapa wanapigana kwa board. Kwani unafikiria wanapigania juu ya nini? Ni nini wanapigania? Conflict of interest. The tea farmer has suffered for too long. Sasa mgongo ya mkulima imevunjika, anaendelea kuwekelewa magunia juu. Mkulima amekatika center bolt. Si ndio? These are subsidiaries that are loss-making. Chairman and your board, no, we must have a conversation. We must have a conversation. And government will come in to facilitate a forensic audit to ensure only viable businesses remain, and everything else must be wound up to stop wastage of farmers' resources and exploitation of poor tea farmers. Let us stick to the core business of managing tea factories and selling tea. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu. Hii kazi ingine mwachie wafanyabiashara. Wajenge manyumba, wafanye insurance, wafugue nini, tufanye kazi ya chai. The Tea Board of Kenya will oversee direct sales overseas to ensure that tea is offered and sold and timely payments received. There has been a trend for the direct sales overseas to be used for speculation purposes. Then after the necessary approvals are sought and granted, the tea ends up stuck in the warehouses as unsold because there was no actual buyer. Kwa makaratasi chai imeuzwa, lakini iko kwa store. Tutaenda hapo leo saa 8. We must clean up this space. This must stop forthwith. Additionally, payment to farmers, even through the direct sales overseas, must not be on credit. It must be prompt, like the auction process. Wakulima wapate haki yao. Today, most of our tea is sold in bulk which does not fetch a premium compared to value-added tea. This must be handled expeditiously together with the production and marketing of orthodox tea. We as an administration, we are willing to partner with you and the county governments to Saidiane to install orthodox tea production lines because it fetches higher return for the farmer. We are willing to put in money together with the county governments and yourselves to Saidiane. And the recommendations from the inspection report of the revitalization of the tea subsector established in the previous administration, pursuant to Executive Order number 3 of 2021, is a good place to start the operational and administrative changes needed to streamline this space. I've directed my Chief of Staff to spearhead this process for execution. Kama kuna mtu aliiba kitu ya wakulima, utalipa. Alipa. The records are there, tutafuatilia. Finally, my call for all of us is to work together to turn around this subsector. And for that to happen, KTDA must be run professionally and profitably. The hundreds of thousands of tea farmers across Kenya elected our government because they believed in it. Our collaboration will lead to increased accountability, enhanced transparency and prosperity for our farmers, and ultimately build public trust in government.